You're listening to the official Minnesota Wild podcast, presented by Acrisure.
Now it's past noon, and you can digest all the exciting moves. How do you feel about all of it, and where the team's at?
Yeah, I feel really good. We set out to, create some depth up front and add to our group, and get a veteran D-man that could help us and be there for us. And so I think we checked a lot of boxes the last couple of days, and I'm excited to see what the group can do.
Bobby Brink is somebody that could play up and down your lineup. Is that how you feel?
Yes.
Wing, left wing, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean primarily right wing, but I think I think Bobby can, he can give us time in the top six. I'd probably, in a perfect world, I would probably see him like on our third line, but that doesn't mean he can't bump up to two or one. For spurts, who knows? Let's see what happens and how he fits in. And but he's a versatile guy. He can he competes real hard. And I remember back to his draft year, and he's just a hockey player. And he shows up every night. He loves the game. He's got passion. He plays with emotion and passion, and he doesn't shy away from the high traffic areas.
I assume during those many days and nights in Milan, you talked to Torts about him, and what were the reports you got from him?
Yeah, I talked to Torts twice about him, and Torts loves him. I know they went through their thing, but it was all. I've got a lot of time for John Tortorella. I think he cares, and what he tried to do for Bobby Brink was make him a better hockey player, and I think he did that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they're just tough lessons, but he gave him a glowing review.
Mm-hmm.
With David going the other way, Bill, just why do you think it didn't pan out here with him, and was it tough to accept considering what the team gave up for him?
Yeah, you know what? Not really. We felt it was fair return. I just, the last thing I think David was getting boxed out a little bit. When we traded for Quinn, that really changed a lot of things. That really changed our direction. And, when you have a young player like that, he needs to play. He needs more of an opportunity. And we weren't going to be able to give him that. So, you don't want to hold kids like that back. You just, as much as we gave up for him, I feel we got fair return this time. And, that's the way the world works. You kind of have to just move on sometimes. And we wish him luck. He's a great kid. I think he's gotten better under us. And I think he'll continue to get better in Philadelphia.
How about Nick and reuniting him with Marcus for the first time that they're going to get to play with each other?
Yeah, well, we tried getting Nick 3 times before, so yeah. I guess 4th time's a charm.
Yeah. So you didn't hold it against him that he didn't?
No. He's he's just like his brother. He's an A+ human, and his experiences, the way he plays the game. His character, all those things, he brings a lot to the table for us. And, the whole story with the Folignos, it is a great story. It's cool that they're reunited, but we got Nick for Nick and for what he brings to the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you, obviously John now has a lot of pieces to play with. How do you see, I know you're not the coach in Lions, but obviously now you have a lot of forwards that are in your bottom 6. Clearly guys are going to get pushed out of the lineup if you're healthy, which I know you want to be. Where do you see Nick fitting in with now McCarron and Fowry and Sturm being here?
Yeah, we're going to have to see how things shake out, but you need depth. You need players. And, some guys aren't going to be in the lineup some nights, but that's the way it is. We are trying to make the playoffs, and then we're going to make a push. And you have to accept your role. You have to accept, what you bring to the team and what the coach asks of you and what we all ask of you. So that's part of being a team player and part of, what successful teams do.
Good players come from anywhere, obviously, but you were a Boston kid and got to play in Boston at one point. Just what does it mean to have a kid from Minnetonka coming back and wearing this jersey?
The first thing I told him was, this is not a family reunion. This is not to get together with your buddies. Tell your buddies and your family they know where the ticket office is. Buy your own friggin' tickets, okay? He's not coming in. I'm serious too. Like, I'm half kidding, but I'm half serious. Like, he's coming here to work.
Yeah.
And to be a part of the Wild and to win. Like, this is not coming home to hang out in Minnetonka, Wayzata, and all that stuff. This is here to work.
Yeah. And the cool part of this trade is that he's a 24-year-old that I'm sure you see as potentially a big part of your future too, right? Which I don't think a lot of us thought you were going to be looking for.
But that's part of it too. Is that he's an RFA, so that was part of the attraction to doing the deal as well.
Bill, what can you share just about the pursuit of a top six center, and are you disappointed that didn't come to fruition?
No, I'm not disappointed. I mean, listen, there's some great players, available, but the asking prices were extremely high. I feel like we strengthened our team in different ways, and I at some point in time, you still have to be responsible and do the right thing, and sometimes patience pays off. So we'll see. But I feel like our team's better today, so I'm happy.
And when you say
you don't know, everybody was pissed off when we didn't do anything on July 1, and but if we did something stupid on July 1, then we never would have got Quinn Hughes.
Right.
So sometimes I don't know, we're better than we are. We're better today than we were yesterday.
Yeah, but part of this also is that you realize that you have a certain amount of assets left that you just didn't want to use now, because potentially that is something that this summer or next season that you hope to.
And I just think it just wasn't the right time. I felt to use what we have left.
Do you when you look at this team now? The fact that you didn't get a top six center, how did two play driving wingers and Quinn Hughes change the sort of complexion going into the playoffs? Like, do you feel like it's not as big a deal as maybe it used to be because you have such offensive drivers at center?
As for creating offense, back in the day, centers carried the puck. They fed the wingers. The game's so different now. I mean, it's so fluid and so, just so much more creative now that, Kaprizov drives the offense on his line. Boldy drives the offense on his line from the wing. You need your centerman. To be 200-foot players more than ever. Like, it's the game has changed in that aspect where. If your centers are just point guys and they can't play in their own end, well, that's not good. So I feel like our guys can play. All our centers play a solid 200-foot game.
What's it like feeling now that it's out of your hands? You've traded for Quinn. You've brought 5 players in this week. What's that feeling like now that you have given this team all these endorsements and now it's up to them?
It feels great. I need a break. No, it's good. This is a great time of year. It's exciting, and we'll see. We'll see what works and what doesn't, and this is part of it. But I enjoy this time of year.
Yeah,
I didn't see the tweet, but apparently you were playing the piano in the war room and playing Jaws. Are you a piano player or no?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
No,
you just have fun?
There's a piano in my room. Yeah, let's just have fun.
So it's in your room, not in the war room?
We didn't have a war room.
Okay, so
that's my
that's
room.
How nice your room is.
I'm not saying it was nice. I'm just saying there was a piano in there.
That sounds nice.
Well,
it's good work by the Don.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? You either pay for that or you pay for a boring boardroom that you sit in there and stare at the walls. So we kind of changed that up last year, and I just it's a little more fun, a little more relaxing, and just, like I said, sitting in one of those rooms for, 10 hours or whatever it is, it's not fun.
Plus you have your bed that you can always just lie on.
Yeah, you can take a nap.
Yeah.
Bill, do you hope the players, like their response to these last, 6 weeks of the season, excitement, pressure, like you did all these moves, but now there's no telling how the rest of the season goes, how the playoffs go. You hope it's one way, but you just never know, right? So how do you think that you've done everything you can? Do you think they should feel pressure now that it's Stanley Cup or bust? It's like, how do you think they should feel by this?
Just play. Just be excited. Go out. Be excited about it. Like, just don't feel pressure. You can't. There is no pressure right now. Like, just get ready. Go and play with passion and emotion, and but be confident. Like I hope our guys are confident.
Cool. Thanks, Billy.
Okay, guys. Thanks.
For an extraordinary advantage in sports, you need a game plan. For an extraordinary advantage everywhere else, all you need is Acrisure. With a high-tech human approach to insurance, cybersecurity, and more, Acrisure helps you take care of what you care about. That makes winning easy. See what Acrisure's extraordinary advantage can do for you at Acrisure.com.